All right, a little taste of what we got from the whistleblowers yesterday. Gary Shapley.
Investigators were not allowed to follow up on WhatsApp messages from Hunter Biden's Apple iCloud backup, where he suggested he was sitting next to his father. Assistant United States Attorney Leslie Wolf cited the optics of executing a search warrant at President Biden's residence as a deciding factor for not allowing it, even though she agreed that probable cause existed. Prosecutors instructed investigators not to ask about the big guy or dad when conducting interviews.
Shapley said all decisions made in the case were made to benefit Hunter Biden. Joining us to react, GOP strategist Vlad Davidiak. Vlad, good morning. I'm not hearing Vlad Davidiak.
Anything.
Oh, there he is. I got you now, Vlad. Sorry about that. So Gary Shapley and Joseph Ziegler, those are the two whistleblowers. I thought they came off as extremely credible. What's your reaction?
Look, these are not just people coming out of nowhere. These are people who have long experience. I mean, Ziegler is a 13-year IRS special agent with Criminal Investigation Division. He's not just a paper pusher there in the IRS. He's somebody who has been specifically tasked to investigate these criminal acts and who knows how to find that evidence, to dig it up, and to make those connections that need to be made. So these are not only highly credible, these are bombshell revelations.
Yeah, and they detailed everything. They had the paperwork to back it up and how they ran it to their overarching supervisors there within their group, but then they saw the turn down at the higher ups somehow, somewhere.
Yeah. And that seems to be the case every single time, isn't it? I mean, we've seen the IRS testify publicly during the last two Democrat administrations, and both times they've been painted into a corner, and the evidence points out very strongly that the higher ups. In Obama's case, it was his administration. Now, in Biden's case, it's his administration and his son. That their efforts to bring to light what's really happening are being covered up in an effort to protect the Democrat president from investigation and from those consequences.
Vlad, there you go. You just hit the key word there, consequences. You know, we get all of this stuff exposed. We get all of the information from the whistleblowers. They're corroborated from an FBI or by an FBI whistleblower. So you get all these agencies, whistleblowers coming up. What are the consequences? When do we start to see something happen as a result of this? Does it rest with Merrick Garland?
Merrick Garland is also under investigation, and members of the Congress have potentially launched potential impeachment of him. So it may not rest with Merrick Garland. It's really going to ultimately rest with the American people. The fact is that the IRS investigation now and previous unrevealed evidence also indicate very strongly that the Biden family is deeply corrupt, that the work that Biden has done in his capacity as senator, as vice president, and now as president are primarily used to enrich his family and his friends, and that the foreign payments that he and his family are receiving are an influence peddling scheme to directly enrich his family. The American people have to hold the Biden crime syndicate accountable.
We're hearing some Republican pushback from leadership, certainly McCarthy over there in the House. Where's Mitch McConnell? I mean, where are these people? Where are these leaders, so-called leaders in the Republican Party, and doing any pushback about any of this?
Well, what we've seen over time is that the Senate, Mitch McConnell in the Senate, certainly runs the Senate with the Senate's prestige and the Senate's priorities in mind, not necessarily the political calculation, but maintaining the prestige of the Senate. So he's always going to be very slow and deliberate in anything he does. I think certainly what we've heard from Speaker McCarthy recently, and now with Representative Comer, who led the committee hearing yesterday, it confirms that, there's going to have to be the next steps that take place after this, additional investigations, additional hearings that really bring to light what happens next. Hunter Biden is going to be charged with crimes. Hunter Biden's already pled guilty. The next person has to be the big guy who got regularly significant amount of money and resources from those operations.
Yeah, some analysts say, though, the one guy who escaped yesterday was the big guy. They barely laid a glove on Joe. A lot of stuff on Hunter.
They weren't
and on the
allowed to
obstruction
ask
of
about the big
investigation.
guy.
Oh, I know. I understand. That's the point, though, and that's why those investigations must indeed continue. GOP strategist Vlad Davidiak laying it out for us. Thank you, Vlad. We appreciate it.
Anytime.